today. I'm here with Kevin Decker, and we're going to discuss leading and implementing change in the field offices, and specifically how to overcome some of the various challenges that come into play for field professionals due to varying reasons such as distance, communication, competing priorities, and even just cultural differences in the office. Kevin has 3 decades of experience in oil and gas, and he has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to driving key operational improvements in the field and working closely with field personnel. And earlier this week, Kevin and I were syncing up talking about just implementing change in general, and change in the field specifically came up. And Kevin made a statement that really spoke to my heart. It's simple, but profound. So Kevin, you said the cash register is not the office. You said ultimately it comes down to where the product is captured and costs are incurred. That's why it's so important to listen to field staff, as they all play a critical role in identifying and executing the cash flow. So this statement wasn't meant to diminish, the importance of all of the other roles and responsibilities that are in motion and very critical to getting oil and gas out of the ground, but it highlighted the importance of listening to understand and valuing those perspectives of those with boots on the ground closest to the work. So this morning I was going to see if you could expand on that point that you made and maybe give your top 2 pieces of advice for folks who are planning or leading changes that will impact field personnel.
Yeah, I think it's really important. And going back to that one point, the cash register is not in the corporate office. It's actually, in our industry, it's a little bit different, but it's in the field. And I spent 3 months in the office when I started my career 34 years ago. And from there, I got to go to the field very quickly after, and I had a gentleman basically get right in my face and say, that's not where the corporate office is, not where things happen. They actually happen out here. And I was a little skeptical, and then he took me along and showed me that's exactly what happened. So I think it's really important that we change our perspective a little bit sometimes. It's not that what we do in the corporate office is not important, but we have to listen. So I would tell anybody, no matter what your role is, especially if you're in oil and gas, shift your focus back to those doing the job, because there's a treasure trove of information out there, and they're willing to tell you, but they need to trust you first. So to me, the first thing is you're going to have to invest a little bit of time and try to make a connection with those people, because they're not going to trust you naturally, because people have come out and done the dog and pony shows. So you're going to have to invest that time, get to know them, build that trust, and then I think that leads to transparency from them, and ultimately they will trust you and start to open up about really what they do. When they do that, then that's really when the magic happens. That's when things get exciting in oil and gas.
Yeah, I think that is such great advice. And for those of you listening today, this is just such an important reminder that, at least in my mind, when we focus on the needs of the people first, whether you're making a change in the field office or in corporate America or with your kids, it's so much easier when you listen to understand them and see where they're at and meet them where they're at. And then, like Kevin said, that builds trust. That time and connection builds the trust. And then you can go do all of the other things you have to do to implement and sustain change well. But when you have those foundational components, you can then build your other plans, your communication, your sponsorship, your coaching, your training. Everything centers around that. And sometimes we get it completely backwards. We say we want to go do these things, and then we think about how it impacts the people almost as an afterthought, and we really don't set ourselves up for success when we do it that way.
Yeah,
so thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much for sharing your insights today. And thank you all for plugging in today. This is the first of several Field Force Shift sessions, and we look forward to sharing again with you all soon.